Welcome to Nana's Angels. The name comes from my grandchildren who I believe God sent to me as little angels to comfort and love me and to give me someone to protect and love after my children grew up. The purpose of my channel is to try to help any lost child or child that has been harmed. I truly believe that children are a gift from God. They are angels sent from above. And this is also a platform for you to have a place for your opinions, feelings, and thoughts without criticism or ridicule. Please feel welcome. I hope you stick around, and love, hugs, and prayers to everyone for all the cases, for all the lost children, for all the children who are hurting. Become one of Nana's angels and a warrior for the children. Like, subscribe, and share. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. This is going to be not about a recent case. This is about a past case. And I'm just in the process of putting this video out, trying to call attention to the fact that the acts against children and the corruption in the police department, whether it be local or federal, is not a modern day invention. These types of things have been going on for years. And one of the most famous cases is the case about Walter Collins and Christine Collins, his mother. And it also leads into another true crime case, which was the Wineville chicken coop murders. So I'm going to try my best to explain it, or the way I see the story that happened. I hope you listen till the end. It helps support the channel, and you might learn something you didn't know. For the people who know about this case, that's great. For the ones who has never heard of it, listen up. There's a movie that has been made about it. You need to go watch it. You need to investigate about the actual case. You will learn a lot that you didn't know. So listen up, guys. Disappearance of Walter Collins. Collins' son disappeared on March 10th, 1928, after she gave him money to go to the cinema. Walter's disappearance received nationwide attention, and the Los Angeles Police Department followed up on hundreds of leads without success. This story is about a missing boy, a serial redrummer, corruption in law enforcement, and the determination and perseverance of a mother who knows who her child is and refuses to give up. In 1928, a mother, Christine Collins, gives her 9-year-old little boy money to go to the movie. It's just right down the street. He does it often, so she gives him the money, and he goes to the movies, or so she thought. Unbeknownst to her, he has been abducted. When he does not return home, she freaks. She reports it to law enforcement, and there's a big search that happens. They hunt for a very long time with no success. They can't find him anywhere. But unbeknownst to law enforcement or Christine Collins, there is a serial redrummer over in Wineville, California, who goes out, looks for young boys, takes them, has his way with them, and at his farm, which was called the chicken coop, he destroys the remains and buries them, puts quicklime on top of them. Now, this guy's name is Gordon Stewart Northcott. He lives on the farm with his mother, Sarah Louise Northcott. They are originally from Canada. He has a sister named Jessie Northcott who still lives in Canada with her son. Her son is, I think, 13, and at some point, Gordon goes up there, requests that his nephew be allowed to come back and help out on the farm with him. Well, the nephew wasn't spared the trauma or the torment or the torture either. And after Gordon had his way with his nephew, SAing him and beating him and torturing him, then he would threaten him with a pew-pew and make him participate in the torment and the SAing of little boys that he had abducted. This all comes to a head when the nephew's mom, Jessie, which is Gordon's sister, comes to town to visit to check on her son, and he tortures and abuses her as well. She leaves finally and goes and tells law enforcement. Law enforcement comes to the farm to check it out, knowing that they are in trouble, meaning Gordon and his mother, Sarah Louise, they flee back to Canada, leaving the nephew behind. The nephew confesses to law enforcement about the different boys that were abused and unalived and dismembered, one including Walter Collins. So they have to contact Christine Collins to let her know. Now let's rewind. While Christine was looking for her child, it had been months by this time, guys. Law enforcement was getting fed up. They wanted the case closed. They couldn't find this boy. Over in Illinois, there's a 12-year-old kid who claims to be Walter. So law enforcement there ship him to California. The law enforcement in California are wanting the case closed. So they present this 12-year-old boy to Christine Collins as her 9-year-old child, Walter Collins. Here, we found your son. It's him. She throws a fit, says, no, it's not him. I know my child. They're like, okay, well, look, just take him home, try him out, see what you think. We've got to, close the case. He's grown. You just don't recognize him. He's changed. She takes the child home because she knows he doesn't have anybody else. But it's not to pretend that he is her child. It's simply because she feels sad for this child. But after being there for a while, everybody pretending like this is her child, she can't take it anymore. She knows her child's out there and she wants someone to help her hunt for him. She goes to the dentist and different people who knew her son. She gets dental records. She gets letters stating this is not her son and takes it to the police department. Remember the corruption I was telling you about? Here it comes. The police department locks her up in an insane asylum, declaring her a Code 12, which is insane, because they don't want her to embarrass them by what they have done, which is they couldn't find her son. They brought in another child, even though the mother is saying this is not my child. There's dental records, everything saying this is not him. They don't want to be embarrassed. So they lock her up. She's locked up for a while. While she's locked up, this is when Jessie is going to her brother's house and the farm, the chicken coop, when all that is going on. Did I forget to mention that Jessie just so happens to be not Gordon's sister, come to find out. She is technically his biological mother. Their father had SA'd Jessie, and Gordon was the result of that. While Gordon was, but Gordon's mother, Jessie's mother, raised Gordon as her own. While Gordon was being raised, the father SA'd him as well, which caused more mental problems. After the father was put in prison for whatever, Gordon and Sarah Louise, he was raised as that was his mother, turns out to be his grandmother, were also having a sexual relationship. She was also helping with the SA and the beating and the torturing and the red rumming of these little boys. But needless to say, when they fled to Canada and the nephew told the law enforcement everything that had happened, and then they wound up going to contact Christine Collins, she was finally released from the insane asylum and informed, oh, hey, we found out what happened to your kid. At the same time, the 12-year-old little boy that was pretending to be her son tells the truth, and he is shipped back to his original family in Illinois. They take Gordon Stewart Northcott to court. He is prosecuted. They prosecute his mother, Sarah Louise. They do not prosecute the nephew, though. They deem him as one of the victims, not as a predator or whatever. At first, Gordon says that the reason they ran to Canada when law enforcement first came out to talk to him was because he was trying to protect his mother from all the accusations that would come towards him. But in the end, he was convicted. He was convicted of, there was 2 brothers that had gone missing or had been abducted, and there was Walter Collins, and all of them were unalived, plus a little Hispanic boy who had been unalived and decapitated. He originally confessed to all of those, but then later retracted it and then just said that it was the Hispanic boy. He was convicted, sentenced to be unalived by hanging, and that was in 1930. It took that long to get all this done. His mother, Sarah Louise Northcott, was sentenced to life in prison for her part because she was convicted of the Redrum of Walter Collins, because she admitted that she struck the last blow. This kind of thing, and this drew national attention. Both of these cases drew national attention, guys. But the corruption in law enforcement, the harm that comes to children through violence or SAing or just these monsters that are out here, is not new. It's not a new invention. It's not a new, fad. It's not anything new. This all happened back in the 20s, the 1920s, guys. Almost 100 years ago. This is nothing new. It's sad. It's horrific. And we have got to figure out some way. Make it stop. Make these children stop being harmed. Make the law enforcement stop being corrupt. There's got to be something that can be done. Something. I hope you enjoyed the story. As I said, go check out the story for yourself, both of them. That's the Wineville chicken coop murders and Walter Collins story. Also, there is a movie that Angelina Jolie played in about this story, and it's called The Changeling. I really believe that you'll enjoy it, and not enjoy it, but it'll intrigue you. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Just a little PS, guys. I would greatly appreciate it if you would go and check out my last video. It's entitled Wish Lists Rewards for the Monsters. It has a very special message in it that everyone really needs to hear, and I would greatly appreciate you listening to it. I think a lot of people will take something away from that video if you just listen through it.